and
Bucket of Balls. I love that song. Thank you for that intro, Jeff. Welcome, folks. Welcome to Fantasy Golf TV with Jeff Deal. I'm sitting in studio with our favorite, and I always say that because you are my favorite guest host, Brian Steffen.
Did he say that last week when I wasn't here?
yeah, you can't talk about favorites when they can go back and see the archives.
Which you can, folks. You can check out our shows on archive on the TGD TV and radio.com. But Brian,
I'm just
thank
kidding
you for being
buddy.
here.
I love being here.
Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you sitting in again and being one of our experts on Fantasy Golf TV. It was a wild weekend. I know you've been busy. And your team kind of fell off a little bit.
My team suffered because of my trip this weekend.
But not too bad. I mean, but still, it shows that you got to stick to it a little bit. You got to make your changes.
Yeah.
And you were traveling. You went to
hockey
games.
I forgot about the 54-hole cut.
You
and I left a player in because on Saturday they were available, and I'm like, oh, he made the cut. So when I realized I didn't get to it, I was like, oh, no big deal. I forgot about the 54.
And Shan, who's actually leading right now in our league, she sat in last week, and I had to have her on. She's an expert, and her and her husband are doing very well. Frank Coughlin, one of the local pros here in town. But we talked about it a little bit, that it's a little different format that you really got to kind of do some research on, and it was a tough one. I mean, look at the winner. Was he on anybody's radar?
Well, I don't mind admitting this on the air, and I said it before we got on the air. I didn't even realize Von Taylor was in the field.
So, hey, listen, it's great, and all the power to him.
13 years. I didn't realize he was on a tour that long.
Yeah,
it's been 13 years since he won.
I think he came and played the Hootie tournament like 7 years ago.
I think you're right. I think I remember seeing him.
Here and but again, it's great to see. I mean, did you see the emotion out of his wife after when Phil missed that putt? Which we'll get to in a minute. But it was great to see. You put as a PGA pro, and I know my place in the industry, it's not on tour, and I've come to that realization many years ago. But some guys, they just work at it and work at it and work at it. And then, he was at the point, he almost gave up, and almost like the Tom Lehman's story, when he almost went back to Minnesota and became a teaching pro.
Right.
And, tried it one more time. And the same thing, and here he comes. He wins the AT&T. It changes your life, It really does. To win
sure.
it. Especially that particular event.
Well, we talk about it when we hear about guys winning for the first time. What do we always say? It's life changing.
Yeah.
Because first of all, the paycheck. Every tournament now is $1 million.
Yeah.
Minimum. So
do you think that's what his wife was really crying about?
Probably. So first of all, it's the paycheck. Okay, any time someone gives you $1 million, unless you've got like $100 million, it's a big deal. But then you've got your card for 2 years, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. All of a sudden, sponsor, the corporate dollars start calling because hey, you won, so people know who you are. Even if you're an older winner coming back, it brings you back into the spotlight.
Yep.
So I look at what happened to Von Taylor is almost as life-changing as when a young guy wins for the first time.
Right.
Because it's been so long since he won.
Right.
It's great.
But it was great. It really
great.
was.
I mean, the way it happened, I think we all would have rather seen Phil make that putt and them go to a playoff.
Oh, well, I had Phil. I wanted Phil to win. Just for my fantasy, it's all about fantasy.
I didn't even have him on my team.
You didn't?
I didn't have Phil last week.
You didn't watch the show last week?
I didn't.
I told you, start him.
I didn't even watch the show.
Just the horse for the course.
He is, but the thing is, there were like 14 horses for the course last week.
That's true.
And I just happened to pick wrong ones. It happens.
And you're not doing as good as you were last year. You are.
I said before we come on the air.
You're a little above middle of the pack.
I haven't found my flow yet.
You're about 120 points behind the leaders.
Yeah. I'm okay. My goal is to win the year.
What did I say earlier? The leading point getter this week was it Chan or
no?
104 points. 112 points.
Yeah.
I had 100. What'd you have?
I only had 70.
You had 70. So,
I only had 70.
You're only,
I was 40 points off
fine.
the winner. That's not. So. I'm 100 points off the leader, and my goal is to win at the end of the year.
Let me say something. And you mentioned this last week, and you should have heeded to it. You said, "Wait a minute. There's too many of my picks that are close to yours that you had to change something." Oh no, that was week before last.
No, I didn't change anything.
Oh, you didn't?
But it was 4.
Well, I had 70 points too. That's all I'm saying.
Listen,
with different horses.
We probably didn't have the same horses, so my horses ran as slow as yours. So listen, but Phil, I mean,
he was making them all week.
he was 23 for 23 from 8 feet and in,
Yeah.
and he needed to be 24 for 24.
What happens?
I mean, he lipped out. It's not like he blew it past the hole.
He pushed it a little bit, though.
But it hit the hole. It had a chance to go in.
I don't know.
Now here's the thing.
I'm disappointed.
I am because
he's my guy. I mean,
because I think first of all that pushes Phil's streak to 50 tournaments. 50 starts without a win. It's the longest of his career.
Yeah.
I think a win. Here's the thing: a win by Phil last week. Okay, in my opinion, because he's been playing pretty well. Played well in Phoenix.
Yeah,
he's played well
swing
so far
change,
this year.
he's playing well.
And he's not spraying the ball over the yard with the
Right.
driver. You know, whatever he's done, he's changed. He's figured it out. He's kind of striping the ball. The two bugaboos for Phil: spraying the ball off the tee, and the putter wiggles on him a little bit. I've straightened out the driver.
I've never seen him with such a forward press like he is. He's really. I mean, he's always had a forward press,
But it's a little more.
but it's pronounced right now.
Yeah.
And but hey, 23 for 23 inside 7 feet.
A win for Phil. All of a sudden, he is definitely, and he always is anyway, but that puts him up to the front of the conversation at Augusta.
Oh, no question. I think it still does. I mean, he's playing
He's
well.
playing so well. He's still going to be there.
I'm not. He's still going to be on my team.
But with a
in
win,
Augusta.
then everybody's talking
Yeah.
about. You know, can Phil get one more? Can he get another one? Can he pull a Nicholas at
Yeah.
Augusta?
I still think he can. I mean,
Of course he can.
The only issue I have with him is normally he comes into the beginning of every year in a little better shape than he is right now in terms of his physique. He's still got a little weight to him, that winter weight that he has. Normally he comes in a little bit lighter, and Augusta is not easy to walk.
I was a little lighter coming into the beginning of last season, too, and I got a little extra winter weight.
Haven't we all? But Phil usually drops it, and I say that for a reason, because you've been to Augusta. You've walked that golf course?
I've not been to Augusta.
Oh, gosh.
But it's like this.
It's and then to do it, remember, you're there Monday for practice rounds, Sunday for practice, and then you're
He'll be all right. Have you been to a tournament where Phil's playing and watched his practice round?
well, it's leisurely. It's very leisurely.
He didn't play 18 holes either.
You're right, to an extent, but
Yeah.
he will walk the golf course and then drop balls around the green and practice putt. Just like Jim Furyk's famous for that. He doesn't have to hit all the shots, but he will drop balls around the green and practice chipping.
By the way, the guy of all the golf tournaments I've been to, the guy that practices the least at any practice round is Fred Couples.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned Freddie Couples.
Because the last time I saw Freddie, it's probably less now that he's older, but at the Open at Pinehurst in 2005, not the most recent one, but back in 2005 when I was working up there, I went to 3 days of practice rounds. And one day, my dad and I just followed him, 14 holes. He played 14 holes. I think he swung a club 23 times. Like, he'd get to as he's walking down the fairway, he'd see people he'd just walk over and start talking to him.
That's great.
And everybody's going, and he's just, like, not signing autographs, like, literally seeing people that he knows personally and going over.
You know, it's close to Freddie.
And the putting green, when the guys are like, the caddies have got the tees in the spots where all the pin placements are going to be or whatever, and they're putting, and there's 86 balls on the green because they're all putting. Freddie's got his putter out, and he's standing like this. He's talking with the marshal, walking with the group. He's talking to the cat. He's talking to his caddy. He's waving to people. He's like going. So Phil practicing at Augusta and being out of shape, I don't think it's a factor.
Well, getting to Pacific Palisades right now, right? Riviera Country Club. With the Northern Trust right now coming up.
Yep.
Obviously, you talk about Freddie Couples, who is a horse for the course. Obviously, a senior tour player now. He is, what's the name of that tour again?
They changed it again.
So let's just go with senior tour player.
I've never stopped calling it the senior tour.
Who actually is in second place this past week.
By the way, is Bernard Longer ever going to stop winning on that tour?
He's using his.
He is
but
found a way.
He's not anchoring it.
He has
not changed. I love it.
The long putter. Well, listen, he's been using that for how many years?
Absolutely. You just got to figure out how not to anchor
He
it.
figured out a way not to anchor it. Like
That's
we
awesome.
talked about, would Adam Scott try that or Tim Clark or one of those guys?
Yeah.
And they've all gone away from it and gone to.
And I'm surprised
short
Adam
putter.
Scott hasn't, because he is so tall. That I think would work for him. He should watch Bernard Langer. I think it's working.
I think Bernard Langer ought to charge him a boatload of money to teach him how to putt that way, is what I think.
But anyway, talk about Freddie Couples. He is one guy that's going to go on my team this week. I'm going to go one more shot with him.
He's not a well, you can take him here and you can take him at Augusta if you're not.
I'll
feeling
always take
strong
him at
about anybody
Augusta,
else.
but I won't take him in the later rounds at Augusta. I'll take him in the
play him
early
Thursday
rounds.
and Friday.
But I am going to take him in this. I mean, he is a horse for the course. He loves. It's his favorite course. It's self-proclaimed other than Augusta. It's his favorite course. So,
by the way, somebody else you should take this week, based on a tweet that I saw yesterday. Yeah, what's today? 16? Yeah, yesterday. Riviera this week. ... In my top 5 courses I've ever played. Before I tell you the name, would you take that guy this week?
yes,
Yes?
yes.
Okay. I'll tell you who it is later, but
You can't leave you hanging.
yeah,
like
no,
that.
I'll tell you because he's on my team.
Is it Sergio?
No, but I don't care. It doesn't matter who it is. Would you take that guy?
I would.
If he's in the field and he says one of
Well,
my
his top 5 course
courses
of all times.
that he loves to
Well,
play. Top
no,
5
I got to
course.
see who it is. I got to see the name before I put him on my fantasy team.
Why?
Because I want to win money.
If it's a guy's top 5 course, you don't think he's not going to play well?
Yeah, I think he might play well, but that doesn't mean he's going to be a point getter in fantasy.
If he's going to play well, it will be a point getter.
Yeah, to an extent, but I need to see the name first.
Okay,
before
it's
I put
Jordan
him on.
Spieth. I'll let you off the hook. It's Jordan Spieth.
Oh,
he
he's-
tweeted that out yesterday.
Well, he's in the A list, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
He's on my team.
He's on my team.
He's starting.
He's on my team.
When the number 1 player in the world says, I'm coming to one of my top 5 favorite courses, and he puts it out on social media, I'm taking it.
He's gotta
and the
back
way he
that
played
up.
Sunday?
Well,
went
yeah, he
6
really
under
played
Pebble
well.
on Sunday?
Did you see what he said? He said, "I've never." What was his quote? Like, "I've never played so bad," and I was very aggravated at myself. And he did straighten that up. So, but I got to talk about Freddie Couples. Now, he won in '92.
Yep.
That was the year I got into golf, and it's important in my life because it was him playing at the Masters. He had a great year that year.
Well,
But
yeah.
it was that shot on 16 that it should have rolled in the water, and he chipped up. It was just a par. But that's the day I'd never touched the club before, and I was walking through my living room, and my dad said, "Hey, check this out. That ball should have rolled in." He explained it to me what happened. I watched him chip on. Watched him finally, he went on to play to win in that, and that I went out the next day and bought a set of Lynx Parallax irons because he owned the company.
Yep.
Him and Ernie Els owned the company. But that was the start of my golf career, 1992. But you look at talking about horse for the course. So he won the Northern Trust back then. Then he was in second place in '94. He was in second place in '96. So this guy loves this place. And he's always top 4 or 5 in those first 2 rounds. He's always top 4 or 5. So
Again-
I don't plan on
again,
seeing
start
him
him.
win it, but I'll probably bench him
But
on
it's
Saturday
about
or Sunday.
points. It's about points.
But it is, and he's a point getter.
Here's an important thing. Most people won't take him.
No, I don't think so.
So
'Cause
you
it's,
could gain
it's a year
points,
later. and-
because you could gain points on other people.
I agree. Well, and that's if he plays well. I mean, like you said, he's got to play well. Jordan Spieth, it's his top 5 courses.
I can't. We want to show you the tweet.
He's a Texas guy, though. He's not a Southern California guy, L.A. guy.
Freddie Couples is from Seattle, Washington.
All right, let's bring up my A list here. So Freddie Couples is not in the A list. So thank God.
think he's
I
in
like
the C.
I like Sergio.
I got Sergio to go along with
So
Spieth.
my 2 players right now, and I haven't picked my team yet. I usually do, but I've been a little behind.
Boy,
a
it
little
didn't take
busy.
you very long to click on Spieth, did it?
Oh no.
After I told you that.
Not at all. And then for my B players, I like. There's a lot of players I like, but Hideki Matsuyama is one of my favorites this week.
He's playing really well.
Very well.
Coming off a win.
Yeah, this past week his greens and regulations were the best in the field. And the thing about the course, Riviera Country Club, that is a course that you have better hit some greens. The funny thing is, I printed out some stats from this golf course. It's amazing. The scoring average last year was 72. 72 or higher. It was actually higher, 72.59 or something like that. So it's only a par 71. the greens are the hardest to hit in regulation out of all the courses that they play.
This is one of the toughest tracks, period.
It is.
They play every year.
And then greens in regulation last year, the players averaged 9.25 greens in regulation. So that's a little over half of the holes they're hitting greens in regulation. So they're missing greens, everybody.
The one thing that scares me about Matsuyama this week is the flat stick.
I agree. There's no question about it. But
I mean, he's playing great tee to green, and we've all stood here and said, if that kid figures out how to putt, he'll be dangerous.
Yeah,
because of the rest of his game is damn near flawless. I mean, his swing is perfect with that little stop at the top, so repeatable.
Well, and it's good that you said
that. Hits the ball
that.
100 miles, but with this kind of course where it's greens and regulations are only 9.25 last year.
They're
right?
missing a little over half.
Okay, so where do you save your strokes?
You're chipping.
And putting.
And putting, of course, yeah.
So,
but you're chipping closer because you're missing greens, right? So a lot of the guys are chipping closer. Mm-hmm. But check out this stat, right? Mm-hmm. Last year, talk about putting the ball in a hole, right? It ranked the most difficult from 3 feet and in.
See?
And check out this stat. They had 72 whiffs inside that range out of the field. 72 players missed from 3 feet and in. The average is 46.
So do you still like Matsuyama, who sometimes has a shaky putter?
I don't. It's a little iffy there. So
I think I'm still going with him. But there's where if you have a little doubt. But he's just playing so well right now.
I think he's just.
And the weather's going to be perfect.
Again, it's greens in regulation. If that's the stat, I think you really need to look at. But you got to do your research, folks, because there's a lot out there. Strokes gained in putting, I think, is one stat that you really need to look at before you set your team. But that stat alone, they had 72 whiffs inside the range of 3 feet. Okay, no other no others had more than 46 for the rest of the year in any of the courses. So that'll tell you right there that it is not easy to get the ball in the hole if you're 3 feet away. It's not.
So put it closer than 3 feet.
Yeah. Weather last year was okay. It rained, I think, one of the days. They're calling for possible rain on Wednesday. So Thursday they might be throwing darts, which is great. Mm-hmm. Winds aren't too bad. I think Sergio last year, he always plays well. It's a great venue for him. Yeah. I think he's self-proclaimed, but not only self-proclaimed. I think most of the players on tour like his ball striking. He's one of the best ball strikers on tour.
He's a no-brainer to take this week.
No question about it. And he loves the place. He really does. James Hahn is the defending champion, so I think he might be somebody to look at. He's playing pretty well this year, but it's
but your first time defending.
Yeah, I don't like him.
With all the media pressures.
He's not going on the team. I did a top 10 on my own at home this morning. I was thinking he's number 10, but I don't think he's going to be on my team.
No.
So, so let's get back to the B list. Who do you like in the B list? And I had said Hideki Matsuyama. Who do you like?
I like Justin Rose. Speaking of needing to be a good ball striker at this venue.
No question. He's playing real well.
And he played pretty well last week.
Yeah. This is not the first time he's played Riviera.
No.
But last week, first time he's played AT&T, and he played very well.
Yeah.
Thanks to Justin Timberlake. He should get that credit, Justin Timberlake. He talked him into playing.
He did. And
I love that.
Jimmy Walker's a horse for the course here. And I've already used Walker 3 times, but that's okay because he doesn't play well in the summertime. So I'm not worried about using him up on the West Coast.
I agree with that.
And he's a West Coast guy. He plays well out there. You know where else he'll play well when he
loves putting on Poa annua.
He does. So take advantage. I like him. Another guy's probably be good this week. And I'm speaking strictly horse for the course kind of guys that I might not normally. Charles Howell III has a good history at this course. He hasn't won anything in a while, but again, we're talking about earning points.
Right. And what about a past winner, past runner-up, Adam Scott? We mentioned him earlier with the long putter. You think he's ready to? He's not ready to take that step.
He went to the long putter for a reason. He's not a good putter.
Right. I agree.
So I'm probably Paul Casey. I like this week.
Playoff last year.
I think he's in the C list though. I think I read that wrong. I think he's in the C list.
You're right.
So he's definitely on my team as a C list guy. Who else do you like on the B?
There's a sleeper there, Harris English. He's played well early on. I like Harris.
I do. I haven't picked. You know how I always change one or two things after we do this, and not just as it gets closer. He's been on and off my team already.
Yeah,
and he may end up back on.
Who?
Harris.
Oh, Harris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I was tweeting with him the other day, messaging him the other day on about the Hootie tournament, whether he's going to be showing up or not, and then I just asked him about his game, and he said, "We're there." That was his answer. We're there.
So you're cheating.
So, no.
You just admitted to everybody that you're cheating.
No, just we're having a conversation. But anyway, and then the C list, and I like Paul Casey. You said, and he's playing well. But there's one guy, Charles Schwartzel, that just won last week in his hometown in South Africa, and he's playing so well right now. He's finally recovered from all his little injuries. He was sick for a while. He had the flu. He is just on target. He's a great ball striker, and he just a solid. He's like putting wise. He just goes unnoticed, but he just puts them in the hole.
He had a chance at almost every major last year.
Yeah.
The way he was playing.
He's just such a good player. Paul Casey's still in the uppity. I don't know about him. Plays to 7,390 yards, close to 7,400. If it rains on Wednesday, the course is going to play longer. You need to hit greens. Greens in regulation are important. I'm a little worried about him, his lengthwise and stuff. So that determination, if it rains tomorrow in California and the L.A. area, is going to be well. That's where I changed. I'll wake up that morning, Thursday morning, and make those changes. Thank God for the West Coast time.
Yeah, right. The West Coast time.
You got that time.
Well, you're up at 3 in the morning anyway, so even if you're on the East Coast, it doesn't matter.
I am.
Another guy out there that
do you pick Vaughn Taylor?
No.
He's playing.
No. He's still drunk.
Okay.
No.
Don't go there. That's not fair to the guy.
He's celebrating. No, it's so hard to go back to back. If I had won in 13 years, yes.
Out of commission.
Speaking of long guys that doesn't really have any history there, but he's been playing fairly well already this year. Lahari, Anibal
Lahari, yeah. He's playing really well.
He is.
His short game is deadly.
Yes.
He just puts that ball next to the hole, which is what we talked about earlier. We're going to need.
That's what I'm saying.
You're going to need to get close. As hashtag Dave just came out of his office. He's trying to get some pointers for his team.
Yeah, because he's been worse than me so far this year. So he needs some help.
Okay, well, any other last advice for the folks out there that need some help?
This is probably one of the weeks that horse for the course is going to mean something. More so than the hot hand lately.
We talked about Jordan. I talked about Matsuyama. JB Holmes hasn't been mentioned. He's hot right now. He loves the venue.
Yeah.
So there's
and his length helps. This is a long track. Rory's in the field, but he's never played here before.
Yeah, I'm curious about that, but I think he might go on my team. He's not an A player, right?
No.
So I think he might go on my team. I'm a little iffy about him right now. I think he's just he's never. To me, he's just the best out there right now.
Well, listen,
my only problem is his new girlfriend.
When you're talking about the top guys in the
listen, girls seem to screw him up. I just it's proof. When he dropped that one girl, man, bam, he was on fire. All of a sudden, he's got this new girl, and and he hasn't won.
Maybe.
Just saying,
he can't be single forever, can he?
No.
Well, he won't be. Present company not included. Sorry, Dave. But
okay, so my top 5. I'm going to give you my top 5.
Go ahead.
Jordan Spieth, Hideki Matsuyama, JB Holmes, Charles Schwartzel, and Rory McIlroy. I'll go with them. That's my top 5.
Okay. Good. I have 3 of your top 5 on my team.
Good stuff. All righty. Well, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, buddy. Glad to be here.
Dave, thanks for listening in back there. And Jeff, thank you for all you do behind the glass. And not sure what your strategy will be this coming week. I know you've switched and with strategies. You got anything new for us, or?
Yeah, I decided to listen to you guys. Well, to you, Jeff, not Brian.
Yeah.
Well, Brian has fallen down, but what am I? I'm sixth place, so I'm 43 points behind the leaders, which is I'll take that. I'll make that up this week.
I'm really looking forward to the Frank Coughlin interview.
Oh, me too. I'm gonna have Frank. I'm gonna see him tomorrow night. I'm gonna ask him to be on the show. He's got it, man. Him and Shan both.
Shank.
Can we have
Shank
Frank
MD.
instead of Shan?
Can we have what?
Can we have Frank instead of Shan?
Yes.
Well, Shan was here last week because she was great. I mean, she gives a little information on her insight on how she picks. And she's telling me, she's like, no, go there, hit there, click on that. And she's running through me on my laptop and on where to click on. And, I was like, cool. I was saving stuff in my favorites. And so it's good stuff, man. I mean, we and the folks that could use it. I mean, that's what the show is for, right? To help the folks
Absolutely.
out. Help them win some points out there. Well,
Points is what matters.
Well, folks, thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate it. TGD Radio and TV are produced and broadcast by the Zeus Digital Network for thegolfdirector.com. When visiting the Golf Director, be sure to check out our featured golf course pages where you'll find up-to-date information about course conditions and much more. Specials and everything like that. I mean, especially coming up with peak golf season in Myrtle Beach. There's a lot of specials going on out there. Book now. Hashtag Dave is in the back. Just call Dave. 844-GO-GOLF1. That's 844-464-6531. All of our TGD programming is archived for listening and viewing on demand. To catch up on the show you might have missed, click on the TGD Radio and TGD TV tabs in the menu at thegolfdirector.com. We're now available on over 1 billion devices, folks. That's right, 1 billion devices. We're on iTunes, Audio Realm, TuneIn, YouTube, Ustream, Roku, Blueberry, Periscope, Catch Me. So there's a lot of information out there. We're always on demand. You can check out our shows anytime to help your fantasy golf world and the gamers out there. So you could also contact us Twitter at Fantasy Golf TV, Facebook.com/Fantasy Golf TV, and then check out our website, FantasyGolfTV.com. So give us a call us. You could email us. Where can I get a hold of you? What's your Twitter again?
At Golfmonger.
Okay, and I am GPro268. No, I'm JDeal268 at Twitter.com. So contact us there, folks. My name is Jeff Deal. Brian Steffen, the experts in fantasy golf. There'll be more information, so tune in. More TGD golf news and information. So stay tuned, folks. Thanks for being with us.